Sorry. Okay, a very good afternoon to everyone. We are the last group to present. I hope you all are still here. Right? Okay. All right. My name is DEBBRA from FPEP. I'll introduce my members. There is Chan from FPEP as well. SURIANA from Pusat Asasi. All right. And Abu Bakar and also Dr. Jeb is from FSSA. Right. So for our SWOT analysis for the success of technology-enabled learning, I believe we have heard very common items listed on each domain: strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. So I will not go through one by one. Instead, for strength, if you look at our suggested items, it encourages global learning, promotes self-learning. And for this part, environmental friendly, I'm not sure if any other group has mentioned this, but why we decided to put environmental friendly is that, you know, how we would encourage our students to upload assignments, how we would conduct quizzes or tests online in Smart UMS. That would actually reduces natural resources. So we will be saving trees. We will cut down on papers. So that's why we put as environmental friendly, all right? And also diversifies learning methods. These are very common. You, instead of just reading on books or reference texts, we can also diversify our learning methods via audio and visual methods. Right. For the next domain, I will pass over to Abu Bakar.
Okay. We continue with the weaknesses. I personally have problem with Smart UMS because I have experience where I ask students to answer my question is basically about mathematical equations. So a student cannot input the mathematical equation. I'm not sure what happened to the system. So that happened to me, and finally I asked them to submit manually. Okay, so it's not user friendly. Maybe my proposal is UMS team to look forward to another system like previously I used to use the Schoology. I think that it has a not to say best, but it's a user friendly. It's more user friendly compared to Smart UMS. Yeah, Schoology. You can Google it. Yeah. So lack of provision of robust internet access. This is normal thing. It is something that how to say. It can happen anytime. So unpredictable. Yeah. So. We cannot blame also our system. Maybe it's because of the outside. We cannot. It is because uncontrollable factors. Yeah, like maybe from telecom itself. Yeah. So the third one is lack of understanding of e-learning. So when we introduce e-learning to students, it's like a culture shock from the previous traditional, and then when they enter university, suddenly we introduce the e-learning. So it might take some time to them. So when we introduce, it's kind of a culture shock, for my opinion. So I think that is for the weaknesses. And next, for the.
Considering those mathematical equation, okay, that is also user-friendly, considering all those symbols. That must be made known to JTMK. But we hope, that the new version that they have already installed might be able to address that. It's true, we know of this problem. So if we use Schoology, go ahead, but put the link from our Smart UMS to that place. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. So the next opportunity, I'll be passed to my colleague Suryani. And that's Ishan. Thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, for opportunities, it will increases marketability of the students because from especially blended learning, okay, here is the place where they will learn how to use all the technologies. But then what I want to highlight here, because I'm teaching Asasi student, so during the Asasi is the time where they get to know about all the blended learning. They start to know that actually, right, before they go to the faculty and so on. Okay, so what happened is, okay, blended learning is okay for some subject, okay, but then for mathematics subject it's not really, because I always think a solution, how to explain like a problem to show all the solution to the students. But if I'm trying to use blended learning, it's very hard because they can't understand. So it's very hard. So I need to go for the, I need to go to the class and explain one by one to the student. But what happened is, even I try to explain in front, some of the students still cannot understand. So they cannot go, I think that particular students still cannot go for this online blended learning technology. They might need sometimes to understand all these things, okay? But then for long term, because they will learn everything, right? And the technology that they will apply after their degree life and so on. So dia akan memberi apa, dia punya marketability tu untuk mencari, like looking for a job, increase lah, okay. So elevates, okay, the second one is elevates reputation of the university. How elevates reputation is like, because we are going for University 4.0, right? So we won't left behind, okay. That's the point. So I pass to I pass to who?
Okay, pass me.
Okay.
Okay, the last part I will talk about the threats of the e-learnings. So the first thing is to most of the lecturers, especially those senior lecturers from in the generations of baby boomers. Okay. Also some of those from Generation X or Generation Y, including me, I don't really like technologies. Okay, to use these different devices to teach students, because for me, I personally think that education should involve face-to-face communications between lecturers and students, so the students will be able to get better understandings. So when I talk about the baby boomers, because most of the lecturers, these baby boomers lecturers are unable to catch up, guess the latest in technologies of the educations. Okay, how these advanced educations can facilitate the teachings. And fear of losing humans' values, it means that, as I say just now, okay, students might not realize much on lecturers if we frequently use, okay, these e-learnings, okay, for students, because they sooner or later they might not realize the assistance of lecturers. Okay, that's why that is a threat for the students, the Generation Z. Okay, that's all for my presentations, for our presentations. Any questions?
I think Jeff can give a conclusion.
Thank you so much, Prof. Fong. Seems to be that I still need to speak and wrap up. Maybe if you don't mind, can you please bear with us, stand up for a while, because just to, you know, say, look at the people at your side, say hi, and then look to the side and say hi. You may sit down now, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, it's been a long day. Been a long day. So maybe just to wrap it up, Khan. Basically, we agree with everybody from the first group up until our last group lah. So what we actually agree is that, well, the first thing, I don't know which group is it, but I appreciate it. They say that we shouldn't use the blanket approach of TEL, technology-enabled learning, to everybody. Because some of them are not geared for it. What they teach is not geared for that one. However, it's being now implemented in LNPT. That means that they need to, right? They are forced to. So maybe we need to consider this because they are still fossil community. Fossilized. Yeah, the dinosaurs, maybe including me. I don't know, but I...
Defossilizing.
Defossilizing. That will take a long, million of years. Anyway, yeah.
Dr. Rose can do the job.
Okay, so that's the first point. Second is that we talk about ranking. And we talk about ranking, we want to be better than other university or at least the same, standard as them. And for us, we'll always lose the rest because we are using their measurement, developed by them. We are the followers. We always going to be losing the rest. So we need to look for the management, for the UMS, we need to look at our niche, our specialty. Then only we can. We do not need to compete with others anymore because we have our own niche. That's the second lah. Third is that TL. I think the other group, I don't know which one was it, but they say that, the value of humanistic, we lose. We were talking just now with Dr. Isa and Rizwan, and who else was it? Halim. Last time, universities were actually in madrasah, in spiritual center, where the ethics are married with science. But during, I don't know what time was it, we divorced from it because science says that we do not need to read the Bible or the Holy Scripture to understand the nature. So there was a big divorce in it. Once we divorce, what I'm trying to say here is that kita telah bercerai dengan the values that we should have kept within us. And that's what we are supposed to teach our children, our anak-anak, our students, the values. That I'm not sure whether TEL can fully embrace. Seterusnya, correct me if I'm wrong, Prof. Fong, I haven't looked at the policy for the TEL in Malaysia. But I think, personally, I don't see the roadmap of TEL, because in order for us, the academicians, to help, we need to be able to see where we are, what we have, and where we are going in the next 5 years or 3 years in order to support this. But for us, tidak boleh nampak di mana kami mau pergi. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, minta maaf. 10 jari.
So with regard to considering actually halal tuju of 3 years down the road, 5 years down the road, you can visit actually our PEP website, okay? And actually our halal tuju is also available there. Okay, you can see that actually our roadmap, okay, is there. So I have no time to go through that just now. A lot of work actually have been done there. So the other one, just now somebody mentioned concerning what is the other point that you mentioned just now?
Blanket approach, ranking the rest, humanistic value, and roadmap.
Yeah, okay. So the roadmap, indeed we have. Okay, you can visit and have a look. Otherwise, you can contact Julio. The humanistic aspect, we are the people actually who needs to recover. Yes, long time ago in history. Yes, long time ago in history, there was some kind of a divorce. Okay, so we need to bring back those spiritual values. or those virtues, or those attributes. Okay, we have to remold our student. So that falls upon each and every one of us. Okay, more than just content expert disseminating the content. Okay, our little informal time with the student can recover those kind of values. I think you are doing that. I think you are doing that.
I hope so.
Okay, and the ranking is true. Okay, so you remind me of something called the Blue Ocean Strategy. Okay, so that is where, for example, in the USM, the Vice Chancellor at that time, Tan Sri Zulkifli, he was saying, forget about ranking. Don't give them any data. But still they continue to rank USM. Okay, then they say, let us look for our niche area. Exactly what you say. Okay, so that was mentioned by Datuk Zulkifli a long time ago. And we bring in the expert, and then we have the Blue Ocean Strategy. And then we also have something called the Future Scenario Expert that come from Geneva. So, yeah, it's true. We need this kind of strategic planning, you know, okay, to identify what exactly the niche area, and then we focus our time there. Okay, then you become an authority in that area. You will never beat the other universities, because it's true. They will keep changing the goalposts. Okay, and we cannot blanket what?
Blanket approach, where we force everybody to do.
Yeah, so I agree with you, okay, because there are certain discipline, okay, that may need other approaches. So, yeah. Hey, thank you so much. Come, take a picture.